Everyone is looking for a silver bullet these days. They're looking for that one simple trick that can change their lives and make everything better, that will make them feel more energetic, more attractive, and more successful. Because, let's face it, life can be something of a slog for most of us. We wake up in the morning feeling tired and not wanting to haul ourselves out of bed. Then we drag ourselves to work through busy, stressful commutes. And then we force our way through a long, hard day. When we get home, we usually feel too tired and depressed after a work week to do anything worthwhile. And so we just crash out in front of the couch. Many people struggle with feelings of low self-esteem, of depression, and of loneliness on top of this. We're constantly connected, but many of us feel that we struggle to make real, worthwhile connections. Is there really one simple trick that can turn that all around? That can give you a new lease on life and help you to feel like $1,000,000? Well, I'm here to tell you that there is, and it's perfectly obvious when you think about it. The simplest way to turn your life around and to feel the best you've ever felt is to get rid of that belly fat. If you're currently living with a mushroom top, dad bod, or just a spare tire around your waist, then it is dragging you down more than you can possibly know. How belly fat makes everything worse. Of course, we all know that belly fat can ruin your confidence. Having a gut is simply not attractive, whether you're male or female, and it's something that is going to make you feel a whole lot worse about yourself as a result. Having a gut doesn't just get rid of any chance you might have stood of having a six-pack. It also ensures that you look like a stuffed potato, whatever clothes you wear. It's immensely hard to put on a great shirt or dress and to leave the house feeling like $1,000,000 when you have a massive gut hanging out. More than that, though, a gut signals generally poor health. This suggests that you are less active, and what normally goes along with that is a general lack of tone and definition that can be seen everywhere from your arms to your face. Women, do you remember when you used to feel light, petite, and strong? Like a toned and honed Amazonian, ready for business, and enjoying all the stares coming your way? Guys, do you remember what it felt like to have a dominating presence in the room? To have looked slightly like an athlete in your clothes, and to have the look of a predator? To be an alpha male, and to look fantastic in nearly every outfit you wore? Having a gut changes your posture too. It forces you into a more forward position that slumps your shoulders forward and closes off your chest. This is a submissive stance that sends a loud signal to others that you aren't confident, and that you don't need to be taken seriously. Women, meanwhile, can expect to look frumpy and tired. Having a gut transforms you from the bottom up and brings you screaming into middle age. It suggests that you've stopped trying and affects your very body language, which of course has a deep psychological impact. Then there are the direct results of getting into better shape. Of course, your sex life will improve, and I'm not just talking about for single people. Obviously, picking up women or men becomes much easier when you look healthy and sexy, but you'll also find your relationship improves. How would you feel about your partner if they became more toned and sexy? Or conversely, if they gained lots of weight quickly? And then there's the way that a belly can impact your libido, or lack thereof. If you're not having sex, then losing the gut might be the answer. And guess what? Getting into lean shape can improve your salary too. Studies show that employers are more likely to employ or promote people who are in better physical shape. On average, men and women who are more toned earn higher salaries. And that's before we have even touched on the direct psychological consequences of carrying a belly around. Because as soon as you grow that gut, you're going to start producing significantly more stress hormones such as cortisol, which will increase depression and rob you of energy. Of course, that gut drastically increases your likelihood of developing a number of different conditions as well. This also creates something of a vicious cycle. The increase in cortisol and in stress increases your likelihood of gaining more weight and encourages stress eating. Not only that, but it also makes you significantly less energetic and makes it harder for you to engage in healthy activities such as exercise. In other words, having a belly makes it much harder to get rid of a belly. And that's before you take into account the fact that you're now moving around with a large tub of lard attached to your gut. Let's face it, you are not in your prime, and athletic activities probably aren't your strong suit right now. But imagine if they were. And that's what we're going to start fixing in this video course. I haven't even touched on all the ways that belly fat can lead to depression, further weight gain, low self-esteem, and even serious health conditions. If none of these other reasons is going to provide enough motivation, then simply consider that a belly will increase your likelihood of cancer, diabetes, stroke, heart disease, and more. So yes, this really is the one thing that you can do to change your entire life. If you look after your body, it looks after you. And now, we're going to see how you can make that positive change happen. The simplest diet for fighting belly fat: cutting calories. The most straightforward way that anyone can fight belly fat is to simply eat fewer calories than they burn. This is what is called maintaining a caloric deficit, and it basically means that the body needs to burn fat in order to get the energy it needs. The body is constantly burning energy, not only to allow it to engage in various activities such as walking, jogging, or thinking, but also to allow it to simply stay alive. That is to say, that you need to burn energy for the most fundamental of human bodily functions, such as blinking and breathing. If you are constantly eating, then you are constantly supplying your body with the sugar that it needs. This will remain in the blood until the body is able to use it to power whichever movements are necessary. Failing that, the body will look to stores of glycogen, which is kept in the cells. It's only once both of these energy supplies run short that the body then needs to start looking elsewhere. That is when it starts to burn fat. How to measure and maintain a calorie deficit. If you want to measure and maintain a calorie deficit, then you need to first calculate how many calories your body burns in a given day. This means looking at the number of calories that you burn while active, called your basal metabolic rate, and then looking at how much exercise you do on top of this, making your AMR or active metabolic rate. There are plenty of different calculations out there for getting a rough estimate of these numbers. Ultimately, though, it is actually more effective in most cases to try and work this out using a fitness tracker. While calculations can be useful, they don't allow for variations from one day to the next. Most of us will find that our active metabolic rate varies tremendously throughout the week, and this, of course, has a big impact on how much you should be eating. A good fitness tracker will allow you to enter some personal metrics, such as your height, weight, and gender, and will then count your steps and measure other activities throughout the day. A device such as the Fitbit Alta HR, for instance, will not only track steps, but also monitor your heart rate throughout the day, and automatically detect exercises and activities like walks, runs, and sports. Using this data, you can then get a much more accurate picture of how many calories you burn daily. From there, you can start calculating how many calories are going in. Again, there is technology out there to help you do this. MyFitnessPal, for example, is a tool that will let you log the foods you eat by entering the calories and macronutrients manually, or by simply scanning a barcode in order to add them from a huge database. If you scan everything you eat through MyFitnessPal, not forgetting the drinks you consume, including alcoholic beverages, and any smaller snacks throughout the day, then you now have a total number for all the calories you've eaten to measure against the ones you've burned. Now, all you need to do is to plan your day so that the number of calories coming in stays lower than those going out. Let's say that you've burned 2,300 calories, and you've eaten 2,200. You can either stop there, or you can try and do some more exercise in order to burn more calories. Either way, you need to keep the first number higher than the second one. If you can do that, then you will burn fat. It's that simple, and it has to work, because there's no other source of energy for your body to get fuel from. Maintain a constant caloric deficit of around 200 to 300, and you'll slowly lose more and more fat. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Except, it's not really that simple, is it? For starters, there are the kinds of foods you're eating, the nutrients. Then there is the matter of your metabolism and, life. Maintaining a caloric deficit seems simple and flawless on paper, but in practice, it is too simplistic. Over the next few videos, you'll discover why, and you'll find out how to strike that happy balance that will result in guaranteed fat loss. A little about targeting. Before I go any further, though, I should first address a concern you may have. After all, wasn't this supposed to be a video course about burning belly fat specifically? How does maintaining a caloric deficit guarantee you'll lose your gut? Women might even be worried they'll lose weight from places that they want it, like their breasts. As some of you may already know, this does not guarantee you'll lose your belly. That's because nothing can guarantee that you'll lose your belly. Unfortunately, there is no such thing as targeted fat loss. That is to say that you can't choose which part of your body you want to improve the looks of and then conveniently blast fat from there. The order in which fat is lost from your body is actually genetically predetermined, and it's impossible to change. Some people will lose weight from their guts first, and those people are very lucky indeed. Other people might lose it from their arms first. As of right now, science has no way of helping you choose which order things happen for you. So the only way you can burn belly fat is to burn all fat, and then feel safe in the knowledge that it is going to eventually reach your belly. That said, though, We will look at some tips in this video course later on that can help you to make your belly flatter and more toned in other ways.